So today I wanted to talk about Verona Pharma, who have recently released their Q3 2024 earnings report. I know that the earnings report has been out for a little time now, but unfortunately I've not had any time to do this video until now. So for me, I thought that this Q3 earnings report was a very good earnings report indeed. We can see here from the statement that Verona released that they achieved net sales of $5.6 million in Q3 of this year. This is a great first quarter for Out of Air, and we can see down here that this is just the first 7 weeks of this launch. That means if they can keep up this pace, we should see a Q4 of net sales greater than $20 million. Not only that, but I do think there's a lot more potential to be had here. One negative I would say about the earnings report perhaps is that I was hoping for peak sales between $5 and $15 billion. And at the moment, with the current growth rate, if we extrapolate that for 10 years, it would only get to about $1.6 billion. Of course, this would still be great for the company, and it does mean that it's still heavily undervalued. But I'm still hoping that in the following quarters, they can push that even further to the $5 to $10 billion target mark. Okay, so let's take a look at the earnings report itself. And one of the things I really liked about this earnings report is that you could feel that there was a lot of positive energy here. If we search for the word exciting, we can see here it's mentioned 10 times. I think one of those is in the comments, but here we are excited, was an exciting one, very excited, very excited, very excited, more excited, exciting, and then at the end, like extremely excited. So a lot of excitement, obviously, about this first quarter release. And I think these are interesting things to look out for with the earnings report, because I've seen it with companies before. Obviously, they very rarely give out a negative feel for the company, but instead of saying excited, they'll say something along the lines of, we are confident, or we are moving in the right direction, or something that's, quite neutral and not words like exciting. So hopefully this is a good indication of what's to come from Verona. So another thing I wanted to point out is they currently only have 30% of their Tier 1 healthcare professionals. That's 2,500 healthcare professionals that write a majority of the scripts. And not only that, but here it mentions that once they start prescribing Out of Air, they have increased their prescribing to more patients within their practice. Now, this is really important because it means not only have they prescribed Out of Air, but they've obviously seen the positive results and are likely going to continue prescribing into the future. And not only that, but they are also starting to see early refill data. So the people that have used Out of Air are coming back for more. This is really all of the good things that you want to hear about a product that's just been released. And this is the main reason why I think this report has been a very good report. So one of the things I wanted to point out about the comments was that one of the analysts here, that it should be a run rate of around $17 million for the next quarter. So of course Verona responded to this saying that they wouldn't give any guidance for Q4, but they also said that they thought that the math stands where it is. For me, I understand that to mean that that's not far off the ballpark figure, and personally I think that Verona can exceed $20 million in the next quarter. But of course, all of this is speculation until we actually see the results. And given the size of the market, I think there's lots further to go here as well. Hopefully you can remember that in their investors presentation, they said if they can get 1% of the market, then that's worth $1.1 billion. And some of their competitors have control of over 10% of the market. And it seems to me that Out of Air has real potential to compete with one of those. At the moment, the prescribers have just started prescribing. But if they continue to see good results and prescribing to the other patients, then we could see the start of an exponential curve. So another thing to point out in this earnings report is that they did talk about their upcoming trials. So they got their phase 2 trial for the combination therapy, and they've just started enrolling for the phase 2 trial of non-cystic fibrosis bronchiectasis. Success of these trials are going to be pivotal for them to reach the upper bounds of that $5 to $15 billion target. So taking a look at the current stock price, we can see we had a really big jump here at the earnings report, and then it stayed about that level. The market cap is currently valued at $3.2 billion, and if we extrapolate that $10 billion per quarter for the next 10 years, then they should reach peak sales of $1.6 billion per year. So for me, what I like to do with biotech is divide that by 2, which gives 800 million. Let's say that 600 million of that is net profit. We then apply a 10x PE ratio to that. That provides an $8 billion market cap for this company. Now, of course, there's still early days and there's risks involved in that. But I actually think that there's a higher probability that Verona can do more than $1.6 billion peak sales. So I'm as strong a backer as Verona as ever, and I hope to see it continue doing well.